Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong black first opinion about mature and strong subject matter that affects black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
Grand Rising all, as you hear, I think we have all the nation members in the house,
So,
and
Mr. P.
yeah,
Hey
Mr. P,
guys.
he's not here. And shout out to Mr. P. I think one of his statements on Facebook, they wrote it in an article somewhere,
Okay,
and he had a highlighted article.
that's what's up.
But yeah, so we have Mind Games Uncut.
Peace.
We have Black Love. Go check out her
Hello.
channel. We have Kathy B. There she
Hey.
is. We have Angela, Clear as Conscious, and Pablo X. So we all been, and so we've all been discussing. Y'all see the title in these times of war, because we at war. We're gonna stand 10 toes down, rooted in our black unity, especially here in America. So, okay, my
If
bad.
I may lay the pieces on
So
the table,
basically,
folks,
go ahead.
I
Yes.
think what you are about to see, black folk, I think what you're about to see is the literal reason why we have abstained from getting involved in these diaspora wars on and offline, why we refrain from these hyper divisive conversations online. If you follow me online, you know that I've been mentioning NSM 46 quite often, which is National Security Memorandum 46. If you go read that declassified document, you'll see that Black Division is a WMD that is used by the American government, and if they're using it, you know their allies are using it, which is all of Europe, and Israel, and now we know Argentina. So what you're about to start seeing on and offline is why we have decided to take the route of statesmen and pursue black unity, why they have been hyper aggressive with pushing black division on all levels. I mean, we've said it before. I've said it before. As you all know, I was carrying that ADOS banner years ago, and the first thing that alerted me to what we're about to discuss and what we are going to witness is when ADOS and FBA got into a full-on gang-like war on back when X was called Twitter. It was like a full gang-like war, and I said, and it all started over the white man, doing a news article, and we know two certain individuals. Not going to drop the names. You already know who they are. They got into it, and it caused that rift. And I was like, it shouldn't be so easy for them to get us to go against us. But unfortunately it is. And that's the problem.
Well, you know that they have had division in so much. We have division in so many facets of Black America anyway. You have the gangs, you have the classism, you got the black, the boule, that the people who were supposed to represent us that we done put in office, and they not going in office representing us. We're not getting reparations, but they're fighting for immigrants. We have been solely divided, and I feel like the only way to save us, the handful of us that's here, is going to be a remnant of us being saved. I don't know if it was me and you, Pablo, or Queen Kathy, but I go back to the verse in the Bible that says, Though the children of Israel be as the sands of the seas, only a remnant shall be saved. There's only a remnant of us that's going to get it. A lot of us are going to still be trying to buy designer bags and live life like ain't nothing happening. A lot of us is going to still try to get up and go to work until there's no work there to go to. You know, a lot of us is trying to push to go through college, which I'm not knocking college, but you know, we got to look at what you need to go to college for. Doctors, lawyers, you know, reading blueprints, you know, stuff that is going to last. But a lot of this other stuff, you know, I don't think it's going to last. So we basically have to start really strategically thinking where we want our future at, because a remnant of us, you know, is only going to be saved. We're only going to be able to save ourselves. And so when we look at a nation, we're not going to be looking at thousands of people. I mean, millions of people probably following our steps. We're going to be looking at maybe a handful of people, and the rest of the people, you know, they're going to be trying to find ways to survive through voting. You know, I think voting is dead, besides the inner city voting. But when we voting, most of the time it's not highlighted until you're voting for a president or this or that. So we really need to start working on ourselves in our individual places. And I land my plane.
What do you like? What do you all think about um this attempt to co-opt FBA and turn it basically into a Black MAGA movement? And it seems weird, especially now that America and the UK and Argentina have taken off their masks, well, their white sheets, so to say, and said, "F you, we're not giving you the reparations. We don't believe you deserve any kind of justice." Does where I mean, how do we even approach this swath of Black people who are now basically Black MAGA, even though they're not saying they're Black MAGA, but they're like so-called Black patriots. They're patriotic to this country. They really believe that America loves us and we gonna get something sooner or later. I mean, I mean, you
Well,
think we just
well,
They
necessarily
don't
gonna have to
believe
just
that
depart
America
from them?
loves us. They
they,
don't
they, they,
believe America loves us. That's not
no,
what they're doing. Mm-mm.
what it,
I don't believe that
yeah.
they believe America loves us.
I mean, from what
What
I'm
you have
seeing,
to
like
understand
they
when
go out with American
when
flags on and
see
things like
see
that.
what no
We're
what you have to
American.
understand
We're
is that,
American.
yeah, we're American. What you have to understand when it comes down to FBA, what I'm trying to get you, see, you're being, not trying to be funny, and understand what I'm saying. When you're looking at FBA, you're saying FBA MAGA. What you have to understand is that Black people were never considered Americans. So go back to
Hmm.
when you said that you worked with ADOS, because y'all were a group of people trying to be recognized. Why? Because Black people were never given their rightful redemption in America. In America, we are here, but the Constitution says we're not even three-fourths human. And then Trump is fighting because they had to write us into the Constitution for our kids to be considered American citizens. So when you see, this is how you know FBA is powerful and what we're doing is powerful, because they didn't say ADOS MAGA. There was no such thing as MAGA, but these are the same damn racist people that's been out here.
Oh yeah.
It was Republicans. So when they're renaming something, they want to destroy it, because now we have recognition. Now we have a name to put with our nation, our bloodline in this nation, which happens to be FBA, Solon, Freedmen, American Indian, because all of those names agree together. Whether you call yourself FBA, Solon, American, you know, what does Dane Calloway use? American Indian, Indigenous. It's all the same. It's all pinpointing us here to America. They have never gave us reparations because they always say, well, y'all don't have a nation. Y'all are all Black. We don't know who is Black. We don't know.
They're like,
We
they
don't know
got
who is
none.
slaves.
But I think we
So
need to
now when
narrow it
we
down.
I
I
mean,
now
think
I
we
when
mean,
we
I
narrow.
think, I
attach
mean, it could.
ourselves,
I think we need to
It
be.
could be. It could be a reality of, do we necessarily? I mean, are we looking at now? We're going to have to say people groups like the Divine Nine, the Black Maga, all these different
Exactly.
groups that are putting every other
The
things
Divine
before the
Nine
blackness.
and all of them,
I mean, do we have the? Do we necessarily
yes.
have? What do we
Like
do
the
with them?
Divine
The
Nine and
group that
all of
put
them,
the, yeah, they put other things before their
leave
blackness. So
them
now
there.
we at a point to where,
Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick. Can y'all hear me?
Well,
Exactly,
we've
Queen
been
Tina.
calling them
Leave them
coons.
there.
Something outside looking in at it.
Leave them
I've been
there.
listening.
Why we keep carrying dead weight?
Can can y'all hear
What's
me?
the matter?
Oh,
Mind games.
now I'm gonna say this
Yeah,
real
we can
quick.
hear you.
I've
You
been
saying
y'all.
something?
Yeah, I was letting y'all cook. I was just trying to. So I've been kind of like outside looking in at a lot of groups. I mean, of course, we know, of course, Tariq them kind of got the names, going, and then other people, Afro Elite, and all these other guys, and then the other people on TikTok. It seems like we're more focused on bashing other melanated people. I'm just keeping it real. My thing is,
oh
because
yeah,
I'm looking at it from a standpoint of like other groups, like it's cool to have all them different names and stuff, but at the end of the day, man, we got to get organized. When they come, we need to start being organized to the point of we need to start getting resources and stuff. Okay, we don't mess with the black people, the immigrants who ain't rocking with us. That's cool, but we need to, cause people gonna respect us when they start seeing us get real organized and getting group economics and getting political power, because we're gonna get we need FBA members. I know Pablo had it. The guy in Africa Town is doing running for office. That's the type of stuff like Tamara Sheila. She's still running. I don't know what the hell what's his name doing. What's his name? From South Carolina, Marcel Dixon. I don't know what the hell he doing. So I know Catherine was saying he was on some other stuff. So
yeah.
we need to
I don't
start
know what's happening to
pushing.
that individual.
Yeah, FBA need to start pushing candidates now. That's the only way we're gonna really like. We get the name is out there, true enough, but I think it'll start being like, the 5%ers and stuff pretty soon if we don't take it to the next level and stuff. That's why I kind of just been sitting in the shadow listening. I be in these groups, I go in these rooms and TikTok. That's cool, everybody hyped up, but we got to get organized. We got to get build up super PACs and stuff like that. That's when they know we real serious, because we coming after them and we putting money behind it. Nobody really smart putting money behind this thing. I mean, it's there, the foundation there, and the lineage is there. I like that, but it's time to really get organized, because that's the level I'm on. I'm all about being organized and getting people in the right place to move the needle. Or we're just gonna be talking about this 5 years from now. I'll let my plane.
Yeah. Marcel. Glad you brought up Marcel, because he's a perfect example of what we're talking about here. Is he had? I thought his campaign
It
was. He
came
did.
out.
I thought he did good on his
She
campaign
said the
and
neighbors
whatnot.
there, and the neighbors saw the blood in the bag.
Huh? What
Somebody,
happened?
somebody's
I
blood.
don't know this lady. I don't know.
What the hell?
But
She's all
the stay on topic. I thought Marcel's campaign. I thought he did a good job, because I personally know Marcel. So I thought he did a good job as campaign, but I also foresaw where it was going, because, like I said, when I was in ADOS, I knew the division with black people, black groups, and we're talking about American black people. We'll set the immigrants to the side for now. We're talking about American black people. So when you're talking about things like the Boule, the Divine Nine, these are people who really believe they have a ticket into whiteness, and they're not going to let go of that ticket. So what happened to Marcel Dixon? He was directly prohibited from getting into that spot by the Boule, by the Divine Nine under Jimbo Jangles, that old civil rights era Boule. And so moving forward, what do you guys recommend we do about groups that Massa has given power to obstruct everything we do?
Um,
I mean, is there any moving forward, or trying to use them or get them in position where we can leverage them? Because like if the Boule put their blackness first, if the Divine Nine put their blackness first, of course those institutions, the Black Church is included in that too. Of course, those institutions can be leveraged, but to be in 2026 and have it where any old white man or whoever is carrying waving a Democrat flag can walk into a black church, sing a couple of songs, and get a and get all the easy votes and all the donations and all that. Shouldn't those days be over?
yeah, I'll say this. One thing I will say about the Divine Nine and the Boule, I know some of them. I do a little business with some of them, and some of them actually in my nonprofit. But the thing is, they got the right plan. I mean, far as being elite, if you read the book, The Origin of the Black Elites, that's a good book. But the thing is, they're not gonna rock with FBA. That's the thing. You might get one or two of them, but they too loyal, they too liberal, they too loyal to the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? We actually need some of them to get on
Yeah,
board with.
that's what happened. That's what happened to Marcel. Is that right
Yeah,
there? That's why Marcel didn't win that election.
exactly. You need them people because they got a big war chest. They got money. You got to have money to win, bro. That's just bottom line. And yeah, you get them liberals. Liberals got a lot of money, just like the Republicans. That's why it's a two-party system right now, because the independents don't have the money like that. But I was listening to Joe Rogan today with Arsenio Hall. Y'all need to check that episode out. That was good. They were just talking about how somebody need to back another party, put money behind, you know, the independent party, because they even get sick of the Republicans and Democrats and stuff. But I'm just threw that out there, just let you know, like, we need to, if we're gonna have a FBA movement, so long we want to call ourselves, we got, like somebody just said, super PAC. James Parker just said super PAC. Yeah, that's the only way it's gonna work. We can get. That's why I don't get on TikTok and entertain it like the Afro Elite. He's the new Tariq now. He's pretty much taking his spot. It's like his mentee, whatever. But the thing is, I'm trying to listen to something different. I don't hit nothing different
Yeah,
every
it's
day, every
time. It's
week.
time for a new, complete new era. I mean, like this. If we think about it in retrospect,
Mhm.
it's been how many generations of young black boys and girls have grown up and become adults since Umar Johnson first announced the FDMG Academy and all that money that was donated to him. But we'll turn right around and you get people like us who have an honorable, realistic project with an upfront business plan. It's like pulling teeth to get black people to support what we really need to do versus the foolery that we pour money into. And it's like, that's the part that leaves me whoop-de-dooed and bamboozled. I don't understand our mindset of how can we break that psychology there?
Yeah,
You know what?
Can
Can I
y'all
chime
hear
in on
me?
that?
I
I'm
hear
Can I
you.
chime
sorry.
in on that?
I hear you.
I,
I hear you.
I
So,
hope y'all were talking because I got cut off.
Okay.
yeah, can I
Mhm.
chime in on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know that the whole Umar thing, Dr. Umar thing, is a hot topic. And I will admit that I do be catching Lennon Honor on his podcast, and the stuff be funny. But there's such a big deal about what's going on with this man and what he has and hasn't done. And we know he hasn't had the school. We know that people keep donating to him. And if that's what you want to do, if you want to donate to somebody and there's no evidence of progress or intention to support the Black community like you say you're going to do, then stop supporting it, and that's what we keep doing. But then you look at people like King Randall, you look at Zayek's Institute, and there are plenty of, I
Shout
tell
out to
you what,
King
there are
Roundel.
plenty of other um, Black institutes, Black driven institutes that we don't even know about because it's not hot topic. You know, we need to, and my point to that is we need to start focusing on these people, King Randall, Zayek's Institute, uh, Q Butter, shout out to all of them and anybody that is doing things, behind the scenes and making a difference. But we need to focus on those people. Those are things to put your money into. There is proof in the pudding, and that goes along with the UEOA. We are doing things, we are making changes. We love talking about all kinds of things on, Good Morning from Africa Town on that stream, but we are about making change. And we're definitely here to show that that's what it is, and there is proof in the pudding. So, I mean, donate or don't. We would
Facts.
like to network and collaborate and grow and establish a
Exactly.
strong, firm, unshakable nation. Well, we're
Exactly.
working the micro nation right now. We want the nation.
Mhm.
So these are things that you need to support. And I will say, including us, If there is something that you don't like about what we're doing or you don't understand, we are definitely accessible. You can always email us. Queen Tina be on all the time. D Mays, My Games be on all the time. Y'all can catch Lynn in the background, real quiet. Y'all can go over to her page. She quiet as
Facts.
a mic,
And Andrew, yeah.
So
And
yeah,
Kathy B,
so
she does her
I was gonna
farming.
say Kathy B.
She
Yeah,
does
y'all
her
got to check out
farming.
Kathy B.
The
And
Yeah,
thing about the nation
in
that we're
Massachusetts,
building, that we're gonna launch,
Pablo's boots on the
we're getting ready to
ground.
launch a major. Yeah, we're getting ready to launch a major fundraiser. But the thing about it is that under UEOA is everybody that is building, period. Because if we're building, we're from here in America, we're building, and it takes more than one Umar school. It takes more than one King Randall, because King Randall School has rules and regulations and it's only for boys. What about the girls? So we can learn from every one of the people that are doing something so that we can build
yeah,
more. And I
I
land my
gotta get
plane.
him. I gotta get him props
Exactly.
though. That guy started from nothing, built started from his in his own house, and what he doing with them
Yes.
boys here in Albany, Georgia, is good because he molding them black men to be better husbands in the future. So we need them
Yeah,
programs like that.
Yes.
And he
That's
get a
why
lot
I
of
said
funding
there
too.
ain't nothing
we
wrong with
need
that.
that. So we need the version of for women so we can mold some of these twerkers into wives. So but go
Exactly.
ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's another thing. We talking about this unity and everything. Well, FBA, we got a lot of work to do when it comes to the black family, man. Because
And when
these
I didn't
kids are
want to,
wilding
I
out
don't
here.
want to cut you off.
Mhm.
FBA only means the bloodline that links you to America. It's not a group. It's not a leader. And
Yeah, I
that's what
know.
I was saying
Yeah.
before I got cut off. I don't know what y'all talked about when I was
Yeah.
saying ADOS.
What's
It
up,
was
Rod?
linking everybody to the descendants of slaves. So foundational Black American links everybody to America, whether you
Hmm.
were a slave, whether you're Solon, whether you're wherever, because it gives us bloodline here where
Hmm.
you can go where we are this nation that America ignored. So when we talk about FBA, we got to look at that. Just connects your blood. It just saying you are a foundational Black American because America has never accepted us as Americans. That's it.
Exactly. So my thing, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I know we say it's lineage based, but don't we want it more? If you got black people, 'cause let's be honest, FBA
Yeah,
was
it's
they,
lineage based, but it take the
yeah,
lineage to build something, because just because
exactly,
it's lineage, just like everybody say they're American. When we were saying we were American, we divided ourselves in between Democrats and Republicans. So
hmm,
just because we lineage, you're still gonna have Boule lineage, whatever. You're gonna have some Republicans that believe because that they FBA. You're gonna have some Democrats. It's just basically giving us a name for this country that has been ignored.
exactly. Yeah, what I'm finna say? I'm finna say something.
My
What
bad.
I'm finna say? I'm trying to figure out what
That
I'm
we
finna
got to
say, but
build. You were saying something about
yeah,
building.
yeah. And I shout out to Rod Breeze and James Parker there in the chat. Um, but yeah, damn, what I'm finna say? My thing, yeah. So yeah, so I think the FBA. A lot of people don't talk about this. When the 2024 election, they acting like they saying, "Oh, people didn't come out to vote." No, FBA had a strong presence. They really had a strong. They had a strong. What word I'm trying to use? Man, influence on the younger voters to keep them from voting in 2024. I'm telling you, it was FBA, Black Independents, and Black Conservatives that caused her not to win. And I think it's on, and they need to keep that's power. So they need to do that again in the midterms and 2028. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're gonna know, okay, damn, these jokers in the way of our progress. It don't matter how many immigrants we bring in, FBA is in the way of that. And that's where you got
And that's
political
why
power.
they're trying to. That's why they're trying to. When Pablo says that there's wars, and that's why they're trying to mix up what FBA means. FBA
Mhm.
is a delineated people. That
Exactly.
means we're the race of people that grew up
Yep.
in America, and
Yeah, it's no
so
black
they
That,
magic.
want to. And this
that's
is why
exactly what they're.
they want to confuse people of what FBA
Yeah.
is.
They
Saying
just
FBA ain't no different from a white person saying they're American. It's
exactly.
just
They
that we
just
Yeah,
are the
that's
Black
dated.
Americans.
That's why I laid out NSM 46, because that's why I brought up the chocolate MAGA aspect, because there is no rule book that says you can or can't be chocolate MAGA. But when they try to co-opt the lineage and try to put that behind it is clear cut what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it into something else that
Yes.
they can control. And it's like we can't keep falling for these tricks because I mean, go like I mean, let's be honest. Outside of those doing it for clicks and views, such as social media influence and things like that, the average person that falls under the FBA lineage, they don't care. They don't care if you want to be FBA, if you want to be ADOS. They don't care if you want to be freedmen. And a lot of them don't carry this thing where they feel like they have to go to war with other melanated peoples. This is we gotta start realizing that when you're dealing with social media is basically social engineering with technology behind it to make it expedient and as widespread and quickly accessible as possible. And we have our problem
See
as
that
our problem as a people is we're always reactionary instead of being out in the forefront. So when the white man does something, we got to remember I've said it on here thousands of times. White supremacy plans things in decade increments. And so by the time we see what they're doing and figure out what they're doing, they've already had a
it's
decade
too late.
in and it's too late. We're screwed. So it's already there. Like how they did the rainbow. They
So
didn't just
yeah,
drop the
see
rainbow out
the
of
difference.
nowhere. That was planned.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. See, the difference with FBA is like this. We're from America. So if I go to France, I can say I'm FBA instead of saying I'm American. Because I feel like just the word American is taken because when you think of American, you think of whites. The difference is you line an FBA next to American. You line in Solon next to American. You're lining American Indian and indigenous. All the rest of these names that they use are groups. So if a Jamaican come over here and get mad that I'm calling myself FBA and say that you're separating yourself, then how come when you come over here you call yourself Jamaican? Because you're from that place. FBA is just saying our bloodline is from this place as black people.
Yeah, see now let's check this one out. Jamaica, for example. So if you are and because I know a lot of Jamaicans and whatnot. Unfortunately, I've never been there, but I know a lot of Jamaicans. So and I've always been like involved with their culture or
When
whatnot.
they come
So
over here, they're not forced to write African Jamaican, but everybody
see,
else wants to
this
force
is
us to say African American.
this is the thing they do. So if you've ever been around a Rasta, a black Rasta or whatever, when you deal with Jamaican, anybody that lives there, like we've all seen these videos of white people, Asian people saying, "Hey, we're Jamaican," blah blah blah. So when you talk when you deal with Rasta is like a Jamaican version of FBA. Rasta is specifically saying this is a black so and so group in the country Jamaica. Because if you say you're Jamaican, you could be Chinese and call yourself Jamaican. So
Exactly.
and so then we turn around. So
Exactly.
the white man knows. See, this is the part where we get screwed at. The white man knows that, and he does not want us to know that. So that's why he will use social media propaganda to get us. Oh, that group's against us because they said such and such. Oh, this group don't like us because of this. When that's not actually the case. What it is, they like to muddy the waters. And again, in SM46, they specialize in getting us to go to war with us because they know that hey, if FBA links up with those Rastafarians, because we do, like in Africa Town, we do that. But if FBA were to link up with those Rastafarians, now Massa is in trouble, and that's the last thing he wants. So that's why he likes to keep these micro divisions, because FBA is not the only group to delineate. There's all kind of other groups that have done it, and they just want to demonize it. If they can't control it, they're going to demonize it till they destroy it. Is what they're trying to do, or at
But the
least have us
point
busy
is,
fighting each
but the
other
point
to
is,
its
FBA,
ineffective.
yeah, FBA is not a group. It's a saying. It's just a saying. And then it's just I I can go to Africa and say I'm Solon. I don't want to go to Africa and say I'm American. That's why I would say FBA because I'm foundational Black American. And see, when we run into other groups that's from Africa, they think when we say we're FBA, they the one attacking us saying that we're divided. And it's like, no. When I come to Africa, you want me to say I'm American? So when you come over here, you say you're Ethiopian. You say you're Somalian. When they did the stuff with, it's okay to say Somalian because you're distinctly connected to that landmass. Saying FBA just
And then you'll go
distinctively,
back. See, you'll go back into the tribal wars. So say like, so back to Jamaica. So if you just the average Jamaican, you are separate from those that would call that identify as Rasta. So it would be there's a reason why Bob Marley got assassinated.
Yes.
There's because he was like the prophet, like a prophet for the Rastafarians, and so a lot of people gonna wonder, well, why would the American government or whatever government want to assassinate Bob Marley, a singer? What was the point of that? Because those songs were rallying cries for the Rastafarians, and they
Exactly.
were a delineated group, and that's what they don't see. That's what they don't want FBA
Exactly.
to do is what the
But
Rastafarians have
but
done.
but when they put down when they allowed Jesse Jackson and all them to call us African Americans, that delineated us, but it was no problem. Long as we was attached to something else they controlled. But
Yes,
when we
as
say
long as they can control it, they don't have a problem with it.
so when we say FBA is still saying African instead of saying African American because we're saying, hey, my roots are no longer in Africa. Delineating mean this group of people that was set aside. No matter if we came from Africa years ago, we were we were inbred. We were on sex farms. We are a different group of people. We are not even if Jamaica from Africa. They are not the same Africans. So everybody can say they came from Africa years ago. So even if
In the Matrix.
on the ship, that was 100 years
They got her. They got her.
I saw press that red button now. Like to that point, we brought this up before. Like if Montezuma were able to come back to life and go in a time machine, he would not recognize today's Mexican population likely as Aztecs because they don't have any of the original Aztec features because of blanqueamiento, where they've been whitened up and their features have changed. So now so the Mexican to the original Aztec is literally like a whole new group of people, which is
exactly,
kind of like how we're saying
exactly.
with
Can y'all
FBA
hear me?
after you've gone through interbreeding. Like, remember, they bred us like animals, so after you've gone through crossbreeding and everything we've gone through, just like the Mexican, whatever such ancestor that was there before all that happened is going to look at us as a whole different group of people. And sometimes you have to take that and work in that framework, but that doesn't mean that you have to micro divide and go to tribal warfare over it like we like to do.
Exactly,
I mean, that's the
exactly.
part, that's the hump that we need to get over, is this hyper
Can y'all hear
tribalism.
me?
Now we can.
Can you? Yeah, I mean, you're saying that's exactly what I'm saying, and that's what exactly what Tyreek said. They want to link Tyreek to FBA. No, we are not the same Africans. If they did bring anybody, we're not the same Indians. If we were already here, we are a whole different group, and we want to argue with each other what to call this new delineated people. That's why hence we're coming under micronation, the UEOA, so that we can bring all of us that is bloodline to this land together. So if you say you indigenous, if you say you Black American Indian, if you say you Solon, if you say you freedman, that all connects us here to this new group of bloodline that was here after slavery.
Yeah, and then there should be no reason for us to be going in on each other over this simple process. I mean, that's the hump. That's the hump that we got to get over. I think that's the ultimate hump that keeps us from power, to where
Well, the problem
back to the
is that
Divine Nine.
it's
Like,
the
if you look at the
Democrats,
Boule,
it's the
yeah,
Democrats
if you look at
and
the
the
Boule and their
Republicans.
mindset, you would
Yes,
nullify their that carrot on the stick, because ultimately they see Bouleism and being in the Divine Nine as their ticket into white comfort and society or whatnot. And they're going, well, I'd rather be comfortable in Master's house than be struggling with you Negroes, because they don't believe that we can build or do anything anymore. So if we were able to get over that hump and go, hey, you can use your divine nineism and your Bouleism to advance your people, and we can build our own power. Then I think, and even the black church, like the black church used to be the cornerstone of the black community, used to be the cornerstone of the movement. It's called the matriarch of the movement. And it's gotten so far from what it used to be used for because of exactly what we're talking about. Because now it's used as, when they see the black church, that's now in liberal leftist Democrat mind and groups and mindsets, that's considered a safe Negro. Oh yeah, that's one of the church folk. They good. I got to worry about them.
Exactly. So yeah, you right. Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
hear
yeah,
me?
it threw me off. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, we gotta if the bootleg we get couple kind of agree with FBA, but if you can get the right ones on board, bro, that'll change the game. But they are so low. The Democrats so deep in their pockets. It's like what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Hakeem Jeffrey. He kind of weird. A lot of them jokers weird to me too, man. They get some crazy vibes and stuff like Hakeem Jeffrey and all them. Al Sharpton. He's done. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much over. That's why he been kind of quiet. But we need to get some of them younger ones. You know what I'm saying? And let them understand. Look, this lineage base, and we can build around that. Because
Can
pretty
y'all
much
hear
all
me?
black people agree. I even talk
Yes,
to black.
ma'am.
I even talk
Okay.
to black people who ain't even familiar with FBA, and y'all might have seen I posted on my Facebook. I said, "Are y'all do y'all consider yourself African Americans or Black Americans?" Even people, even friends, family, they said Black American. Now I don't think maybe one or two people say African American, but I don't, maybe 50 people said Black American. So black people all agree they are Black Americans, pretty much in this country. So
Exactly.
that's kind of the thing. So they got their
And
head
that's what they
on
need
the
to
right
fight
track.
for. Yes, when we get them in
Mhm.
office to fight for, because what happens, you have people like Elon Omar, and you got Roland Martin and all them. The problem is that these people come from other countries, or their history is from other countries, so they don't know how important it is for a real Black American to get in power to make changes.
Yeah, yeah, and as you notice, the hallmarks of like the names you just mentioned, Ilhan Omar, Roland Martin. These are people that are black as day, I mean black as night, but they want to be white. They would do anything to get into that white
And she
society. And
married
then
her
you and like
brother.
and like look and when you
And
look
they
at it
use us.
under
They
She married
use
her
they use
brother.
FBA.
God
They
damn it.
use America, and they use us to vote them in. And we vote them in, and they go after the interests of themselves or their own people. So these
and,
new,
and, and, and look at the pattern. So, and this is to use Godfrey as an example. When you encounter Godfrey, Godfrey's like, yeah, I'm a black man, and when you start seeing all these people from across the diaspora and in the UK saying, hey, I'm black. When you start seeing all these Afro Latinos, hey, I'm black, and they starting to identify as black, that's when the white man goes, okay, we want to stop that. That can't happen. And
yes.
because they know that all these other groups across the diaspora, what they are forced to admire about us is how we have stood up against white supremacy like no other group on the planet.
And that's
Eh,
another reason the division come, because now they want to claim
Facts.
black when there's money floating around. And that's why a lot of these people is like, and that's where the foundational come from, because yo, you could be Latino and you could say you're black, but your people didn't build the foundation, because when my people was enslaved, your people was over in Mexico, or your people was over in the Dominican Republic. You weren't on this land. So that's where it seems like there's a divide at, and that's where a lot of the FBA or foundational or people are getting mad at, because now that it's on the table, you already come over here and use the resources from the civil rights era, and now you want to be able to say, when it was a curse to say when anybody was saying they were black, and now y'all want to say you're black, and it's okay because we know you are, but you're not Black American, so you should not be able to say that you are owed reparations from this American government. And that's the problem. You might owe, just like Jamaicans, you are owed reparations. The Africans, you are owed reparations, but not from this government. Your ancestors didn't bleed and die in the cotton fields and in the swamps. And that's the so it's a division, but it's not a division, and it should be respected. Because I know
And, and,
nothing
and,
about
and if you
Jamaica and
notice,
Africa.
they unalive or character unalive anybody that's non-black American that agrees with. Like I'm actually shocked that they haven't tried to destroy Godfrey yet.
Because ain't nobody, they listening,
You
but they
saying
not
who?
listening.
Who?
Godfrey, Anthony
Godfrey,
Godfrey,
yeah.
because he's a comedian just like Dave Chappelle. Like they let it go because they look like
Yeah, they
we
don't
don't
take
take
y'all
him.
comedians. They don't take
Yeah,
comedians serious. Yeah, yeah,
what? Yeah.
we got to
So
get to the point. Yeah, I would tell people we got to get.
we are going to be that pillar, that cornerstone That's the whole point of UEOA, is to bring us, and that was the
Yeah.
whole vision. When I thought of UEOA, first I called it Safe Places, then I called it Even. It was Ebony Varieties Evolving nationally. I came up with different names, so we settled with UEOA. The whole point with UEOA is what we're talking about now, because I seen that we are all different powerful groups here in America, but we are separated because we all think this one group is going to do it, or Umar could do it, and King Randall could do it, when we need multiple Umars, we need multiple King Randalls, we need multiple
Yeah.
Tyreeks. And so to have us all under one umbrella, that's what the United Black Nations, which is UEOA, is for. Because if you look at the United Nations, it shows you right now the United Nations consists of 200 something countries, and 200 some of them countries agreed that slavery was the most tragic thing that happened in the earth, but it was only three countries that didn't. They sat down together. These countries are enemies to each other, but they sat down together, and that is the whole point of UEOA. Okay, if you don't like FBA and you like to call yourself Solon, or you like to call yourself ADOS, let's sit down together though, because we're all fucking
Yeah,
one
yeah.
America.
We should not be sitting here going to war with each other over what we want to call ourselves, like we in gangs. I mean, it's we got to the point to where
Exactly.
our survival is on the line, and
Facts.
I think that's cooning at this point to go down that road to continue doing that
We don't have the
division like
time
that
or the
because our
resources
survival is
to
on the line at
argue
this
with
point.
each other. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
UELA built the table. Now let's bring to the table, what do you have to offer? ADOS, what did you go wrong when you got to the reparation stage? Tyreek, you brought people there. What went wrong? Umar, you said the school, what is going wrong? Okay, but Umar, he kind of just, he do a lot though. Cause he,
Yeah, he
you know,
done.
if you with more division, we don't need you at this table unless you're gonna bring resources. King Randall, what did you do? And now how can we implement this plan to women? All we need to do is take what is already there instead of reinventing the wheel, and make it massive, like they did when Ford mass produced cars. Black people made cars. Ford did mass production. So what we're gonna do is mass produce what these black groups doing. What happened? Black Lives Matter was great. Black people were donating, white people were donating, but what was the downfall? Black greed.
yeah, yeah, that's what it is right there. Like Umar, using Umar for example. Umar made a fatal statement, and I knew from there that it was going to be downhill. He said online schools ain't real schools, and I think he was saying that towards the Zayek Institute and whatnot, because he had gotten to it with Michi or whatever. He was
Yeah,
criticizing other platforms of schools when in reality, what he should have did was say, you know what, let me go sit down with Q Butter, let me go sit down with so and let's work some things out, and
exactly.
let's put
He
our
could have
resources together.
expanded. He could have expanded Q Butter, because I mean, shout out to Michigan or wherever he at, but that doesn't help my grandkids in Alabama and Florida and Texas. So I can cheer you on for so long. I can give you so much money, but what about mine over here in another state? So that's just common sense that we have to do stuff on a national scale. Because what I was seeing with the vision is that um what you doing in California is not helping me in Florida. So how can we expand? How can we make this stuff
Exactly.
national?
Exactly.
If New Omar would have got with Q Butter, his school would have been a national online school with Q Butter and Umar. But Umar has that black greed in him
He's a
too,
narcissist, and he
and
want to
then
do
he
everything
only
himself.
wanted to make sure
Hey,
his vision, sometimes the vision don't go the way that you seen it, but the vision is still
exactly.
there. He could have still had a school and people wouldn't have been calling him a thief and this and that if he would have linked up, but he wanted the vision to come through there. That's why that's why when it comes down to UEOA, when y'all say, okay, you do the vision, I can tell you what the vision is and we can lead, but the whole point of the UEOA vision was that it was to be done by all of us, not one leader. And that's
Facts.
why I like,
And
yeah,
yeah,
I can't
facts.
do it because it takes all of us.
Oh yeah, it's the Iron team. And let me see this real quick before I get out of here. Going back to Umar real quick. King Randall reached out to him, and he paid him like what 2 or 3 thousand to come out. So they can discuss doing business with the school. That Umar kept the money. Actually showed the receipts, the text message. So Umar didn't want a younger brother to tell him, show him, how he did it. and he didn't want to collab with nobody else. He wanted to do
And that's
everything
the problem
himself.
with black people today. That's
Exactly,
the problem with the
individualism. That's
Democrats.
all
That's the
poison.
problem with the Boule. These
Yeah,
people, those are the type of
individualism.
people we don't want at the table because they'll start the table leg.
Yeah, cause most black people practice individualism. The wealthy, the poor, it don't matter. I'm about mine. Get yours. So that's what we're gonna have to work on. We're gonna separate ourselves from them ones because you can't really change them because they all about them. So I know too many of them like that. They don't care. There ain't no unity. Black people never been a monolith. That'll never happen. The black unity I never really said anymore because that all of us are never gonna come together. That's like a fairy tale. But yeah, I'm playing.
That's why I say the sands of the sea. We got to get those who want unity. We got to stop looking over our shoulder and saying Umar doing this, and we got to get with the people that is wanting unity. That's the problem. We spend too much energy. We need to look and see. Wait a minute, he don't need to come with us, and then go look for the ones that do need to come with us. And that's it's kind of like a house. What I was saying about FBA, Solon, this and that, ADOS. We're all in a house and we have all our children in the house. Now,
Yeah,
where I'm at in my house, if my children eat, every child in the house eats, and that's what we have to look at as Black unity. Whatever you're doing in Texas is not feeding my child, so how can we make a national table of what you're doing?
facts. And that being said, I guess we. Yeah,
Okay, Pablo is out of here.
yeah, Pablo.
Not
So
yeah,
my last thoughts is yeah, we're just gonna have to. It's time to take it to the next level. FBA, Solon, whatever we call ourselves, we gotta take it to the next level
yes,
now. No more debating on TikTok and all that. That's old. Let's get this. Let's start really putting a blueprint together and moving forward. Because
exactly.
we got that midterm coming up. Then you got 2028 coming up. Let's make a mark. Let's let our voices be heard and let them know we got demands. If you don't give us our demands, we're gonna do the same thing we did in 2024, and that'll
E-
know
e-
that we serious.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
out.
Can I ask you
You're
guys
gonna
if
get
any of
another
you
Trump.
have?
You're not going to
Can
make
I
it.
ask you
They
guys
want to
if?
browbeat us and say, "Oh, y'all shouldn't have voted for Trump." You're going to get another Trump if you don't give us some tangibles. And it's time for unity. And I shout out to Queen Lynn, Queen
Yeah,
Kathy, and
Lynn
Queen
saying something.
Angie
I
for
think.
the.
I think Lynn was
Is
trying to
she?
say something real quick.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
I
Lynn.
just want to know if any of you guys have filled out any of the emails that Brooke is asking
Is she
to
saying
fill
something?
out.
Because I can't. Oh,
Wow, my phone is messed up.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go, Lynn. Go.
Yeah,
go
Brooke.
ahead,
Her
Lynn. It's
name.
my my stuff messed up. Just let me know when she finished.
All right, her name is Brooke. Breuck. She's here on YouTube, and she has lots of emails for us to fill out for legislature. A lot of them are dealing with reparations and renaming ourselves. So if you guys can fill those out, that'd be great.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's action. That's actually doing something that really mean. That really. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that. Yeah. I'll fill it out.
What did she say? I couldn't hear her. What kind of repeat what she said?
People are saying that it's some lady named Brooke. She got some kind of petition you want to sign out, fill out for like legislation for reparations and stuff. And that's the type of thing we're gonna have to get. We're gonna have to get the petition signed, stuff like that, and get those
Yeah, and we
politicians on
need
board. Yeah,
yes, we need one big petition, and we need to mimic that. If she has a petition, then that needs to be generated in every state. So we're gonna have
exactly.
to do it on every line so that we all get involved, no matter
Uh,
what you call yourself in America.
yeah, you got to do it just like people who push for a union to get more money. Same thing. You got to do the same thing. Fill that petition out, get many signatures as possible, and let people know
And
we stand
let
on
me say this
everybody.
last thing too. Dennis
Mhm.
Sperling also has one for reparations as well
Okay, cool.
on
Send
his
us the
line.
information,
Dennis Sperling.
and we'll send it out.
Yes, yes.
All right, y'all.
Okay,
See,
we're gonna
that's
get
what
up
I'm
out
talking
of
about.
here.
See, that's
Just
solutions right there. UEOA always come with solutions at the end, and land brought solutions, and that's work. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, put some work in and get some stuff done because a lot of FBAs up here on social media is talking, and we need action. We need, like you say, we need legislation. We need petitions. We need stuff like that to get the move the needle.
yes,
Facts, and we done.
and oh yes, and I want to say this: a lot of FBAs, just because they name themselves FBAs, a lot of these are the same people who sit around and did nothing. You just got to sit down and argue and be mad. We need to turn that anger into action.
Exactly, keyboard warriors.
Exactly. So if you doing something, if you can't do it, get out in your Go to your neighborhood store and start, smile at another black person. Create some type of black rapport among your people. You can't say you FBA and then your children and our children are out here unaliving each other every time you turn around. It got to start within
They
the
don't want
home.
to hear that. Yeah, these team takeovers, sit y'all black asses down, please. These parents are the
Please.
blame.
It makes it hard what we're doing. Okay, we can't even go in the streets because y'all lighting it up, acting like y'all Israel and Iran, and you're fighting against each other. But that's a whole nother topic. We're gonna get up out of here. Peace.
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 Oh, Queen, did you want to say something before we go? I didn't know if I couldn't hear anybody.
No, ma'am. I just said peace. Love and blessings.
Okay. Yeah, shout out y'all for this subject of unity, and we're gonna do another show on it. Let's what other progress and solutions we could come up with. Peace.
Peace.